Hello there. I'll just do a quick one here. With all that we have available, we just want to review some of the stocks and plot some graph to do some basics for people who we are trying to help them to understand some basics of the stock market or how to trade equities in the stock market. Now, we said we were going to use Anaconda, and basically the Anaconda interface has, you can say they had three. You can use the Qt console, you can use the Jupyter notebook, and you can also use the Anaconda prompt. But basically, because of the friendliness of the Jupyter notebook, we will use the notebook for basics. So those of us who are new can just use the notebook. Now, when you open your notebook or you launch it, this is how you open it. So if you are new, you can just go to new here, then you select Python 3 for you to have a new workbook. Now, the new workbook has opened, so the best thing we can do for now is to give it a name. So how do we name it? We move to here where the title is. Let's call this one Cowbank. Then we move from here. So we've given it a name, Cowbank. Yeah. But because the name already exists in my folder, I'll call it bank cow. But I'll just bank cow because I already have that name on my Jupyter already. So now let's move straight into business. Now, because we said that if you're opening up or you're starting, you should have a folder in your desktop or that is on your hard disk that is saved where you store all your documents. All my documents are stored in a folder I named Python. So I have to get all my data from there. So I have to import that package or tell Python to pick all my documents or my resources or save all my resources to my Python folder. So I have to do that linking. So I'll do import os change. I'll have to change the directory. Yeah. Change the directory to my Python. So the Python will have H. So basically, when you are new, you have to press Shift and Enter to go into a new cell. So let me check if that's where my document pwd. For you to be sure if that is where actually the files are saved, you enter. So my Python is there live. So now let's move on. So we have some models we have to import that we're going to use for our work. I think we will use pandas because it's used basically for data framework. So pandas as pd, we import numpy. So numpy as np. We don't even need numpy in this because we're not doing any numerical value here. So but we will need matplotlib that we use to plot the graph. So we import matplotlib the pyplot as plt. So yes, these are the models that we need for us to work with the data we have. So yeah, you see that I had a wrong name for matplotlib.pyplot as plt. So matplotlib, it's not matplot, it's matplotlib. So it gave me a wrong name. When I rerun it now, it is okay. So what name should we give now? The variable we have or the data that we have downloaded is called Cowbank. Now, when you come into Python, you are coding, you will have to define that variable. So let's say we want to call it cow. So cow, well, from the document, how are we getting our document? We are going to read it as a CSV file. So we do pd dot read. We have underscore CSV. It's a CSV file I've downloaded. So it's not a PDF or Excel. I would have just typed the PDF or Excel there. So what's the name of the file that I downloaded? It's called Cowbank. I named it Cowbank in my Python document. CSV. CSV. Now I'll have to index it with the date. So index the columns should be 0 and the dates. Oh, okay, so is date equal to 1. So let's do cow the head to see our data. Good. So basically this is the data that we have available. Yes, so we'll have to move on from here. Now this is our data that we're going to use. Now because the prices that, or the graph we want to plot is going to use the closing prices, we'll have to define the closing prices out of this data. So how do we get that? So let's call that one cow close. So cow underscore close, let's give it, it's from where cow bank, so we have to cow, put it into, then we give it what name is it? So it's called close, it's case sensitive, so we have to pay closing price. Is closing price VWAP, and the VWAP stands for volume weighted average price. Now that volume weighted average price does weight the stocks with the average pricing. So it takes the total number of stocks traded and then it gets the average number of price. So at the close of the day, it gives you the total volume and then the average price at the close of the day. That's how we have the VWAP. So it tells the closing price using VWAP. That's how we call it VWAP, or volume weighted average price, if you want to mention it in full. So we have the VWAP, and it's in Ghana City. Yeah, basically that's what we wanted. So the cow close is cow closing. We're done. Yeah, so now we can plot this one because this is all we need. So we just plot it and we are done. So we have to do our visualization starts here. So we do PLT. Well, I guess let me show those data first. So let me do the cow close. Cow close. Let me view the head. So yeah, so those are the closing prices from the dates we have available. So here's it. So we start from the 2017, we have this 49 pesos and all those things. So let's go. Now we have to plot it, and in plotting we do plt.plot. What name are we giving it? The document file is what, cow underscore close. You can start even plotting at a point in time for you to have that. You realize that I did the normal say model matplotlib has nowhere to go plt. So it's plt.plot. So I have to bring my O and run it. So when I run it, I have this. Whoa. So this should tell you that there's something wrong with my graph and I have a problem with that. We'll work on that pretty soon, but for now let's keep up and finish the plotting. We give it a title. So plt.title. So what name should we give it? So let's call it cow bank share prices. Well, so let's label it. So the y-axis, or we start with the x-axis. So plt.label. So let's do the x label. So how do we name the x label? Mostly the x-axis is for dates. So let's do dates. Date. So we have the y label, y label. We have that one to be mostly the prices that are on the y-axis, so we can just name that share prices in Ghana City. So we have to show the grid of the graph. So we have plt.grid. So it brings the grid of the graph. Then we run it again. So now this is the graph. All the namings that we have done, the changes we have done, everything is showing correctly here. But there's also another thing that we can do about this graph. That is, when you look at the dates, you realize that it's not rotated in any angle. So we can just rotate this one so that it will show well for us to see that. So let me do that for us. So we have PLT, we have characteristics, we have rotation. Let's make a 45. No, 25. I think I like 25. That would be cool. So I'll run that. Then yeah, now my date is in some order that I can see. So that's cool. Now, one thing I talked about, the fact that this graph does not depict the price movement of our stocks. You see that it moves in an order that we don't expect any stock price to move in. It doesn't even depict the movement of a stock price. It is more like a histogram that is in a special order. So you will see that it is the date that has not been sorted well that has caused this up. So the best thing we can do right now is to go and index or to sort our dates in order. It means that dates should come accordingly, because when you look at the document that we opened, the closing prices, it started from the first date was on 2017 in March 31st, which is not the date we were using for the data, because when you look at the data that we downloaded, it was from 2016. Now you can realize this from this because we have January in 2016, but then the result that was coming was from 2017. So it means that we have to go and sort the date. So let's go up here. Yeah, let's go up here and do this. So after this, let me go and insert. So we get cell below. So let's do, we have cal equal cal dot sort. So underscore index. Yeah. So we are sorting the defined variable cal using the index. So we have to run all the cells again. So you're running all the cells. Voila! So you see, once the date has been sorted, we run all the cells again. You see that now we have a graph that we can use for our documentation. So you can just use this, but for you to save this graph, let me show you a quick one. You can do plt.savefig. You put in by what name do you want to give it? Let me call it cal G. So it goes, oh, sorry for that. So cal G. So it means that this file, I've saved it in my folder. So when I go to open my folder, you see the cal G there. So basically, I guess this is basics of what we are trying to say. But let me go and check to see if my cal G is in my Python folder. So I go to open my document. This is my C. I go to my Python. I'm looking for cal G. So I check around. Let me check in my folder to see if I have cal G there. Once I have cal G, wow, so this is cal G. I'll open it to see how it looks like in my documentation. So yes, basically this is how you want your graph to look like. So now you can view it as an image even in your documentations. So basically this is how we want it to go. We will try other variables. You can even choose to give it colors, like you want to change this one, or you want to change the graph color from blue to red. Let me just do this one real quick and then we move from here. So I'll have to give it a color like red. So I'll type R. So I run it again. Basically, yeah, so now we have a color for the graph, or a line graph, that is red. So yeah, voila. So I'll see you in our next video.